It's a time-honoured tradition to watch horror films in October, but spooky good times at the movies don't have to wait until Halloween. To make sure you're keeping up with the best new horror movies in the genre, we've got a list of the best horror movies of 2018 so far. Annihilation. Subtlety and style don't often rule the box office, particularly when it comes to the horror landscape, which is dominated by in-your-face slashes, squeamish torture marathons, and gritty found-footage outings. It can come as a pleasant surprise then when a movie gets enough of a budget for some striking visuals while remaining quiet enough to leave you with lingering questions and a genuine sense of unease. Alex Garland, an author and screenwriter who made his directorial debut with the 2015 sci-fi sleeper hit Ex Machina, returned in 2018 with Annihilation. The movie follows a group of scientists investigating a mysterious disaster zone filled with strange creatures. Hailed by critics with phrases like nightmare fuel, Garland's sophomore effort deftly blends a metaphor-laced space invasion story with creeping dread and uncanny imagery. Though it was a financial disappointment in theaters, word of mouth has continued to build around Annihilation since its home release. Add in a cast of fan-favorite actors like Natalie Portman, Tessa Thompson, and Oscar Isaac, and Annihilation is one of the scariest and strangest movies you'll see all year.
It wasn't destroying. It was changing everything. It was making something new.
Upgrade. In a not-too-distant future, where computer-assisted body modification is the norm, Gray, played by Logan Marshall Green, remains staunchly defensive of his own humanity, refusing to become augmented. That is, until an attack leaves him wheelchair-bound and his wife dead. Enter a mysterious tech innovator who offers to restore Gray's motor functions with his newest AI chip. As any horror aficionado could guess, this melding of man and machine has some gruesome results. Directed by Lee Warnell of Saw fame and produced by genre juggernaut Blumhouse, Upgrade blends topical concerns with an old-fashioned sense of gritty grindhouse fun. Wildling. The feature debut from director Fritz Boehm, Wildling is anchored by stunning performances from genre favourites Brad Dourif and Liv Tyler. Belle Powley takes the lead as Anna, a teenage girl who's grown up under the abusive thumb of a father figure who claims to be protecting her from man-eating creatures outside. When she's rescued by the local sheriff, played by Tyler, Anna begins to realise that the stories were true, in a way. Wildling has been hailed by critics for its powerhouse performances and striking visuals. The Hollywood Reporter listed it as one of the 10 best films debuting at South by Southwest, and it's hard to argue with the mountain of praise the movie has earned.
The Wildling.
What's a wildling?
He eats children.
Ghost Stories. After the 1980s saw the release of the cult favourite Creepshow, horror anthology films went mostly dormant. Luckily, recent years have seen a revival of the formula with Trick or Treat and the VHS series bringing the horror anthology back to mainstream audiences. In 2018, American audiences were treated to a new British horror anthology, Ghost Stories. The project began its life as a stage play by Andy Nyman and Jeremy Dyson, who share writing and directing duties on the finished film. The story follows a professor, known for debunking hoaxes, as he investigates 3 cases of alleged paranormal activity. The lines between reality and fiction blur as the anthology builds to a startling, surreal climax that's absolutely jaw-dropping. A Quiet Place. Directed and co-written by John Krasinski, A Quiet Place captured the attention of audiences and critics when it crept into theaters in April with a clever premise and minimalist presentation. The film follows a family trying to survive creatures that attack anyone who makes a sound. Krasinski anchors the film as the stoic patriarch trying to keep his family alive in a role about as far away from The Office's Jim Halpert as it's possible to get. The film's cast is rounded out with a stellar performance by Emily Blunt, newcomer Noah Jupe, and young deaf actress Millicent Simmons, who made sure that the film's portrayal of a deaf child remained authentic. Cargo. With the glut of zombie fare over the past decade, it's understandable that a drama about The Walking Dead might get lost in the shuffle. Cargo, however, brings some fresh brains to the subgenre with a quiet story about one family's post-outbreak life in rural Australia. Directed by the filmmaking team of Ben Howling and Yolanda Ramke, and anchored by an understated but intense performance by Martin Freeman, Cargo is a fitting descendant of George Romero's original zombie films. Hereditary. The feature debut from writer-director Ari Aster, Hereditary sets out to unnerve you with a cornucopia of disturbing omens, bizarre visuals, and surreal nightmare logic. Critics immediately got behind it in a big way, heaping particular praise on the lead performance by Toni Collete. She absolutely deserves the praise, giving a performance so overcome with guilt and anger that you're likely to be frightened even before anything supernatural shows up.
Don't you swear at me, you little sh**! Don't you ever raise your voice at me! I am your mother! Do you understand?